So this story takes place back when I was like 15 and a half. And so this was like about like half a year ago. And it took place in the month of July, like in the middle of summer for me because I live in America. So we have summer in the months from May to August. And basically it was summertime. So I was on summer break and we were dating at the time. I'm not with this girl anymore. So basically, this happened when we were about like 2 months into our relationship, and we were still getting to know each other a little bit. We didn't really have like too much experience or too much like actual chemistry with each other before we started dating. It was like about a month or two until we started like getting into dating, and that's how most high school relationships are. They don't last forever, and I didn't know that at the time. I thought like when I had my first real like high school relationship, I thought it was gonna last forever because I actually thought I found like the real girl that I've been looking for. But then I realized that we both outgrew each other, so we didn't really match for each other, and we outgrew each other. Like we couldn't really just bond as much anymore. And basically, we're about like 2 months into dating, and we've only hung out like probably about like 3 or 4 times we've gone out before. We used to talk like every single day at school, but now with summer break, we couldn't because we had break, so we wouldn't see each other every day. And I was like basically just waiting to see her again. And she had a bunch of vacations with her family and a bunch of like little trips she had to do. So it kept on getting pushed off and pushed off and pushed off to see her, which was one red flag I should have realized from the start. She kept on like pushing off like times we could have hung out, but like I didn't really think about it because like I was kind of delusional and I just wanted to like think everything was okay, and I couldn't accept the fact that she just didn't want to talk to me. But basically she kept on pushing off like when we could have hung out, so I was waiting since like probably about like the end of May to hang out with her, and literally the next time I got to see her in person was actually like in July. So I waited since the end of May until like July to see her. And I was just dying to see her. She was dying to see me, I think. And she was like just ready to see me, and we were ready to like hang out again. And the perfect day we were able to find was like in July. It was like in right in the beginning of July. So I was going to hang out at her house. But basically, I've never met her parents before. Like I've never really talked to them before. I've never like had dinner with them before. And plus, this was like my first time actually like meeting her sister too. And her sister's like a grade younger than me, a year old younger than me. And so this was the first time like I was actually like getting to know her family and getting to meet everyone. She actually lived far from me, so it was kind of hard for my mom because like she lived 40 minutes away. My mom didn't feel like driving that much just to like take me to like my high school girlfriend's house, but she was like, whatever, I'll take you. I drove like 40 minutes away just to go to her house and see her. And basically we drove all the way over there. And once I got there, I was excited. Like my heart was beating. Like I was excited but both nervous because like this is my first time meeting her family. I want to have good impressions, and also I'm just really happy and excited to see her. So as we're driving and pulling up to the right house, then I text my girlfriend. I'm like, "Hey, I'm here." And she's like super excited. She's like, "Yay, oh my gosh, yeah." And so then immediately once we like get out of the car and we find the right house, the right address, then as I walk to the port, like the doorstep, I ring the doorbell once, then I ring it twice, and she immediately comes out. She's like, "Oh my god, I missed you. Oh my god, I love you so much." Oh, and then she was like hugging me, giving a nice hug. It was really sweet, and she was just like showing me a lot of love, and she was like saying, "Oh, I missed you so much," and she was just holding on to me, just holding like really tight. Like she really like cared for me. And then my mom and her mom were just talking, and then I just went inside the house, and she was just giving me a little house tour after that. And then her dad gets home, and her dad's like really cool. Her dad's like really cool, but he's like really huge. Like he's like a big guy. Like I think he was on something. Like he was on steroids or tren. He had to, because like he was super huge. This guy was like, I think like in his 50s, This guy could have not been Natty. No way he was natural, because this guy was so huge. Like literally, his hands were like freaking like 5 times bigger than this. Like way bigger. Like his hands were just so big, and also like his frame was just huge. Like he was just a big guy. So then we're just talking. We're chilling outside. It's a nice summer day. It's nice and warm outside, and we're just having a good time. We're present. We're not really thinking about anything. We're just talking to each other, enjoying each other's presence, enjoying each other, enjoying our company. And then we're talking, and then she says, "Oh, by the way, we're making dinner, and we're gonna eat dinner together in a little bit." And then I'm like, "Okay, cool. So, what are we eating for dinner?" She said, "Oh, we're just gonna have some pasta and some chicken and something really good. It tastes really good. My sister's making it." And then I ask her, I know this is a really weird question. I'm like, I know we probably won't eat anything that has nuts, but can you make sure that what we're eating doesn't have nuts, because I'm highly allergic and I don't want anything to happen? And then she's like, "No, nothing we're eating today doesn't have nuts, so you're good, don't worry." Then as dinner's finally approaching, then I see her sister like cooking food, and the food that she's making is like a type of pasta with this type of sauce. And at the time, I didn't know what was in the sauce. It just looked like normal green pesto sauce, because that's exactly what it was. It was green pesto sauce. She was making pesto sauce with our food, and we're eating pasta and chicken, which looked pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it looked really good. And we're sitting at like this little table with like a table of six. So like her sister's at the end, her my girlfriend's next to me, her dad is right next to me, I'm in the middle, and her mother is like in front of me. And basically, then dinner is served and we're allowed to eat. So then I start eating, and the pasta tasted really good at first, and it was like a little bit cold, I'm not gonna lie, but it was actually like not bad. Like it tasted good. And so I had like a plate full of the pasta with the green sauce, the green pesto sauce, and I had some chicken with it too. And as I'm eating, I'm just listening to my girlfriend like talk to her parents. Eventually, the conversation ends and it gets kind of quiet at the table. Like it's a little awkward. Everyone's just eating. Everyone's just like munching on their food, and like it's like kind of quiet. And then dinner was finally done. Everyone finished after that painful, long, awkward dinner. It finally finished. Like everyone was done. And so then everyone went to do their own thing. Then I went outside with my ex-girlfriend. And as we're talking, then eventually we sit down on like this little like couch furniture outside, and we're just chilling. And then she starts going through like her camera roll. You know how little girls like show you like stupid photos they think are funny, and like she started like showing me like old memories of her and her friends, like saying, "Oh, look at when we did this, look at when we did that." And it was like it was a little bit cringe, I'm not gonna lie, but that's how little girls are. They're like always like talking about like, "Oh, we did this, it was so funny, we did that, it was so funny." She was just showing me like pictures of her and her friends. I started to feel really red, very itchy on my face. Like my face started to feel like kind of warm, and like it just felt super dry. I'm like, "Oh, why does my face feel so dry?" As I'm like touching my face, as my girlfriend is like showing me these cringy like camera roll moments on her phone. Then I'm like just touching my face. I'm like feeling how warm and red it feels. I'm like, "God, why do I feel so itchy? Why do I feel so dry?" And then I ask her, "Oh, so do you have any lotion?" And then she's like, "Oh yeah, just go to the bathroom inside the house. You go in there, you take a right turn, and then you just go in there and put the lotion on your face. It's in there." So then I'm like, "Okay, cool." So then I go inside, I walk to the bathroom, and then I go inside, and then I lock the bathroom, and then I turn on the light, and the light takes like a couple seconds to turn on because it's like a little like cheap light. And then all of a sudden it's like a horror movie flash. It's like boom. Like then all of a sudden my face is like super red and itchy, and it looks wrinkly. And I'm like, what the hell? Why does my face look like this? I look like an old man. So then I'm like scratching my face. I'm like, God, why do I feel so itchy? Why do I feel so red? And then I'm just like trying to think to myself, why? Why do I feel like this? So then I put the lotion on my face, and as I'm trying to like figure out why I feel like this, then it hits me. That food that I was eating, the pasta that I was eating, had nuts inside of it, and I didn't know. So I'm like, oh fuck, that food I just ate had nuts in it. I ate a whole plate full of it. I ate literally a whole big giant plate full of pasta with nuts in it. And I'm highly allergic to nuts. If I eat nuts, I could die. I'm like thinking to myself, oh fuck, fuck, fuck. What am I gonna do? So then immediately after I put the lotion on my face, I go out to tell my girlfriend, I'm like, are you sure what we ate didn't have nuts on it? And she was like, oh no, nothing that we ate had any nuts. We're good, we're fine. And then I tell her, are you sure? Because I'm like super itchy, I'm like super red. And then she goes to tell her mom, and her mom comes out and is like saying, oh, you didn't tell me you were allergic to anything. Aren't you supposed to ask though? If you have guests over, you're supposed to ask if you're allergic to anything. You're supposed to have polite manners to say, oh, are you allergic to anything? This and that. Are you okay to eat this? But no, she didn't even ask me beforehand. I didn't say this to her face, but I was thinking in my mind, no. Like, you're supposed to ask me. And yeah, I asked my girlfriend. She said no, there weren't any nuts, so I thought we were good. She goes to check the back of the back of the pesto like can, because that's what they made the food with. That's what they made the pasta with. And on the back of the can, it literally says cashew nuts. And then it hits me. I'm like, oh, fuck. I just ate a whole plate full of cashew nuts. I could die from this. I'm freaking out because, one, I don't want to go home because I haven't seen my girlfriend in like 2 months. I want to stay with her. I want to just cuddle with her. I want to hug her. I don't want to leave right now. And then second of all, I'm thinking to myself, okay, is this going to get worse? Is my face going to get worse? Am I going to feel more like shit? Am I going to start having like problems breathing? So then the mom goes to tell her sister, or ask her sister, or ask my girlfriend's sister if like she has any like Cetaphil to help like with my allergy. I don't know how the hell that would help. It was like Cetaphil or something, I don't know. But she gives me like these allergy pills. I took like 3 of them. And then it didn't really help me. Like it didn't really have like any good reaction. Like it didn't do anything for me after I took the pills. And this is all in the span of like 10 minutes. And eventually my face got even worse within those 10 minutes. Like it became even worse. Like it got even more red, more itchy. And then I started seeing bumps on my neck. Like I started having like bumps, like itchy bumps like all over my neck. Like I looked like I was going into hives. And the scary thing was that after I ate this dinner, it took like an hour to kick in. And I didn't really feel anything for that whole hour until like I started feeling itchy and all that. And I started feeling like, oh yeah, maybe I'm having an allergic reaction. Eventually, the mom tells the dad, saying, I think you need to take him home. And then the dad is like, all right, for sure, I'll take you home. And I'm thinking to myself, oh fuck, I don't want to go home. I want to stay with my girlfriend. I was like just getting to like talk to her and like reunite with her after not seeing her for like 2 months. I don't want to leave already. I'm gonna miss her again. I want to stay with her like right now. And then he's like, all right, we gotta go, man. So then he goes into the garage. He pulls out the car, and then my girlfriend's looking at me, and she's like, it'll be okay. I'm sorry that this happened, but you'll be okay. I'm sorry. And then she kisses me, and then I have to leave because my face is getting more and more red. So then I hop shotgun in the front with him, and he's like, okay, we're gonna hurry up and we're gonna go as fast as we can. And so immediately, once we get out the neighborhood, he goes 150 on the road. And this is the road, it's not even the freeway. In America, if you go over the 45 limit, you get nailed. You could go to jail for that. And the dad is like, we're gonna get you there within 10 to 20 minutes because you said it took you 40 minutes to get over here. We're gonna cut that in half and make it 20 minutes. So then he's like going 150 miles per an hour. And then immediately as he's driving on the freeway, we're like already like halfway there. 150 miles per an hour. And we're just going super fast. Like we're zooming through traffic. We're getting past all the cars. And he's like the car that we're driving is like a big truck. So like we're able to just go through everyone. We're able to like go from lane to lane, go to other lanes. We're able to move whenever. So then as we're getting closer and closer to my house, then I'm starting to feel very red and I'm starting to get even itchier. And then I have bumps on my arms. Then I start to get bumps on my legs. I start to get hives all over my legs and on my arms too, which is really weird. And then I start to get itchy everywhere. And then eventually we're like almost right there to my house. It's like literally 2 minutes away my house. And then I'm starting to like have trouble breathing. Like I'm starting to like gasp for air. Like I'm starting to like kind of like fade out. Like I'm like, you know how after like an intense run or like intense cardio you start to like have like an intense like breathing. That's literally how like I started breathing, like before like I blacked out. So then he finally gets over there. He finally gets to the house, and then once I step foot outside the car, I can barely even move. Like I can't even feel my legs. It feels like I'm about to black out. Like I feel super lightheaded. I feel dizzy. I feel like I could barely move. But luckily, with his big steroid hands, he takes me by the wrist and he saves me from falling on my ass. And then he takes me inside, and my mom's just waiting there. And I called my mom like a couple minutes before, like saying I'm gonna be there, so get the EpiPen ready. And she was shocked and everything. She was kind of scared. So then she saw me and she was like, oh my gosh, he's really bad. And my face was just swollen, like it was red. My lips were like duck lips. My whole face was swollen. My arms were freaking itchy. My legs were itchy. And then I could barely breathe. And I was like fucking like dying. Like I could barely breathe. And then they put me in a chair. And this was like the scariest experience of this story. I'm chilling inside the chair, and they pull out the EpiPen, and then they're like reading the instructions super slowly, and then everything starts to become slow, and I'm just starting to like black out. Like I'm starting to fade out. Like it feels like I'm about to fall asleep. My vision is like literally closing, and I'm not even trying to like close my eyes or anything. Like my vision is like literally slowly and slowly like going black. And then, so they read the instructions, they get the EpiPen ready, and then he stabs it, the dad literally stabs the EpiPen in my leg, and then he waits a couple seconds, and I start to feel a little bit better. And then I wake up, I'm like, oh my God. But then I still can't really breathe that well. Like I'm like super itchy still. I still have hives on me. I still can't breathe or see that right. And then I tell them, hey, I can't breathe. I can't really breathe. And then immediately they call 911. And then it takes 911 fucking 10 minutes to answer us. It takes 911 10 minutes to answer the call. And then I tell the dad, thank you very much. And then I guess they called the ambulance while I was like blacking out. I couldn't really remember, but they called the ambulance, and a couple minutes later the ambulance come in, and literally like 5 or 6 like ambulance medical like team members come inside the house. They literally get a stretcher and they put me on the stretcher and exit me out the house and give me like an oxygen tank so I could breathe out of. And so they stretch me, they put me on the stretcher and they take me in the back of the ambulance bus, and then I'm just waiting there, I'm just chilling. I feel kind of sad, and the fucked up thing is I'm not really even thinking about that, wow, my life was just saved. I'm thinking about when I'm gonna see my fucking girlfriend again. my fucking mind was thinking about when I'm gonna see my girlfriend again. I was fucking anxious about that. I wasn't anxious about, oh, am I gonna be okay? Am I gonna still be alive? I was thinking about, oh, when am I gonna see my girl again? I wanna hug her. I wanna cuddle with her. I wanna kiss her. I wanna just see her again. So then, as we're driving to the hospital, then finally I get to the hospital and the dad's there. He actually drove to the hospital to make sure I was okay. And I told him, thank you for everything. As I'm like going into the medical room, and then he leaves, and then my mom comes in the room, and she's like asking me what happened, and then I just tell her everything, and I tell her, oh, I miss my girlfriend. I literally tell her, hey, I miss my girlfriend. When am I gonna see my girlfriend again? Am I gonna be able to see her again? Is that allowed, mom? She's like, don't worry about it. You just got your life saved. Don't worry about it. And I'm not even present. I'm not even thinking about, oh, I'm so grateful my life was saved. I'm thinking about when am I gonna see my girl again? Like that's kind of pathetic. That's very pathetic. And so then I I have to be in the hospital room for a couple hours because that's what the doctor tells me, just in case if the allergy, like the cashew nut, actually hasn't exited my body, or if it's in my body, I still have to wait just in case if I have another episode. So I had to wait there for literally like a couple hours, like 8 p.m. to like 12 a.m. And so then as time's going on, I'm just waiting to see my girlfriend again. I'm just thinking about it. I'm sad I had to leave her. I'm not even present that my life was like saved. I'm not even thinking like about that. I'm just thinking, when am I gonna see my girl again? I want to see her soon. I want to see her now. And then I'm good to go by 12 a.m. and I'm glad I could leave now. So then I'm with my mom and I hug her and I say, thank you for saving me. Thank you for everything. I'm thankful for you, mom. I love you. Thanks for everything. And then she kisses me on the cheek and she says, I love you. You're my son. And she says, I'm thankful to have you. And it's like a sweet moment. It's like heartwarming because like this is like the first moment I get to actually like hug my mom in a while without it like being kind of corny or cringy. And I'm like thinking to myself, okay, I feel good now. I feel loved. The thing I want you to learn about this, bro, is one, don't get attached to girls at a very young age. I know these fucking self-improvement guru YouTubers are telling you. Hold on. Yeah, that's better. Alright, I know these fucking self-improvement guru YouTubers are fucking telling you like, oh, you gotta go date, you gotta go talk to girls, you gotta do this and that. Bro, if you're not ready right now, or if you're trying to work on yourself, do not fucking rush it. Because for me, I rushed it. I got too attached. I wasn't even focusing on my own goals. I wasn't working out that much. I was off task. I was eating a lot of junk food. I was really depressed. And I was just constantly thinking about my girl. Like, if you're not ready for a relationship, don't get into one. And that might sound obvious, but you may miss intimacy or you may just want a relationship right now. Don't fucking worry about it. The girls will come eventually. You gotta work hard right now and stay disciplined and work hard right now in order to get the right girl. Don't just try and force it by looking for someone. Don't fucking listen to these stupid self-improvement guru YouTubers that say, oh, go look for girls, go hang out with girls. Yes, of course, go hang out with girls, go talk to them, be social. But I'm not saying like, don't talk to girls at all, period. I'm not like that. I'm just saying, do not get so attached at a young age, because this was at 15 years old and this fucked up my mental health for a couple months, and it just made me feel like shit. So make sure you stay disciplined, you work hard, and you don't end up like me. The lesson for this story is don't get attached to girls at such a young age, because I was like 15 at the time and it fucked up my mental health for months after this happened, and I just felt like shit, and I was just sad that the relationship ended literally the same week I almost died. And yeah, it was just tragic for me. So make sure you don't get super attached and super like anxious with girls, and make sure you just stay away from that at such a young age, because it will fuck up how you feel, and it will fuck up your life. So without further ado, bro, I'll see you very soon. Wapow, wapow.